How would you like to grow green onions so that you never have to buy them again? That's how I started my video 2 years ago, and it has over 1 million views, and it's still getting views. Well, the most frequent request I have, though, is, so where do you get those bunching onions that I featured in that video? I found someone, and he was shipping them out for about a year, and now he's taking a break. So now I don't have anyone to send you to. I don't have enough to share. So what I've done is I've gone on this long quest to figure out a way that you can grow green onions forever, even if you can't get the bunching onions that I featured in my video. So come along with me. I want to show you everything that I've been doing.
All I have not provided.
I started this video a few days ago, and as I was reviewing it, I think I left a couple of things out. So first of all, I wanted to be sure that you knew where to go to get green onions that you can grow and they will multiply. And I also wanted to show you what I'm doing with all those tops that I harvested at the end of the video. So let's get started. A few days ago, I'm going to take you all the way through my garden and end up back here. So the guy from Texas sent me about 100 onions, and I followed the instructions. I grew them, and then as they multiplied, I cut them back, separated them, and planted them again. And I got so many onions over the course of the year that half of this bed was covered with onions, just as many as that. So I've gone ahead and separated them all, and I've planted them again in various places throughout my garden. And I have come to discover that they really do like a rich soil. So some of them have done better in some places than others. So I've just divided them and put them everywhere, just trying to figure out how can I get these to grow. And they do best if they're out here in full sun. Whereas, I'm going to spin you around, over there, right in through there, are the original onions that the guy from Texas gave me, or, well, I purchased them. And then throughout the ends of these beds is where I've transplanted them, and they're just not in the full sun all day long. So these guys right here are not bunching onions. They are an experiment that I was trying. So I regrew some green onions, and when they grew up, they made these seed pods, but they weren't seeds. They made little baby onions. And so I replanted those here, and see, they're from green onion bulbs. That's just my reminder of myself that these are not the original green onions. These are from bulbs that came out up here. Now, I'm not sure yet if these are going to make more of these little baby onions. So I'm bringing you over here to my bunching onions. See here? Now, some people call these walking onions, but I'm disagreeing, and I'll come back to my bunching onions in a little bit. You can get green onions, and you can plant them, and look what they do. They do it too. They're making new ones down here. All these smaller ones have definitely multiplied from these bigger guys here. And those were green onions from the grocery store to begin with. But remember, this is second generation. So these are my bunching onions that I've transplanted from another area in the garden. The sad news about my bunching onions is snails got into my bunching onions and wiped them out almost overnight. They were pretty much gone before I realized what in the world is eating these things. I was able to save some. So I've got some here and some in a completely different area in my garden or on my property. So these are my bunching onions. And as you see, they are doing the same thing with making those seed pods, but they're not really seeds. They're new onions. So the first time I saw that these onions were making baby onions come out of the top, I thought, oh, okay, well, let me go plant those. And so I want to show you what has come of that. Well, here we are back to the original place where I first started my green onions. And after I transplanted them to the garden and then I made that video, I decided to let this area be my experiment station. And so everything you see here are not the original, but they're the experiments from the original. So let me explain why I'm saying that this doesn't work. So in that first video, I showed you the difference between green onions and grass. This is grass, but you see here, these are green onions. And they've been here in this grass long enough that they're sending up seed heads. Here's another one that's a really good example. Now what I did is I took the seed heads because I noticed that they're actually baby green onions. So I took all those baby green onions, and some of them were big ones from the garden, and I transplanted those into these barrels. So this barrel here, this is green onions from new ones from the garden. These are from my original ones that I had cut back, just like I showed you at the beginning. And then all the rest of these barrels are seed heads that I got from the grass around here. So I did all that transplanting a year ago. Now this barrel right here, I planted them just in singles. This barrel right here, I planted them in singles. This barrel here, I planted them in little bunches. And this barrel here was, I just moved them as I saw fit. So don't even count this one. But you see, they're all still very small. So this is grass. See the difference? See the roots? Look down in here. So now it's time to cut these back. And if I want to continue this experiment to see, okay, now is the problem soil that is no longer rich enough, or I think it just doesn't work to do it that way. But I'm willing to add some compost to these barrels and see if I can get them to grow bigger. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut all of these back because I don't really need any more right now, because I don't know if the experiment is even worth going further until I add a whole lot of nutrients to these barrels and see if I can get this to make bigger onions. You see, these are from the original ones that I cut and transplanted. Look at the difference against my hand. But look how little these are. They're pretty small. They're more like chives, actually, that big. Well, now that you've seen the results, you're going to understand why I'm about to do what I'm going to do. This is what I showed you in the first video. This is what it takes to get them to multiply. I wish the tops really could have been a whole new generation. of exactly the same. So now that I've trimmed them back, I'm going to cut them down right through the middle. And then I'm going to go transplant these somewhere else, and they're going to become like these. These actually started with just maybe a dozen, and now I'd say there's probably at least 3 dozen here and 4 dozen there. So they really do multiply when you do this. But man, I wish this would have worked, because then I would have been able to share it with you guys. So there is a source online. It's called Haas Seeds. He has seeds, but I don't know. I don't know if they're the same, but hey, it's worth a try. I love experiments, and well, you're going to at least get some green onions from it. And if you'll do the same thing that I've just shown you, then I believe that they will bunch, just like I was showing you with the green onions that I'm pointing to right over there. They just started out as green onions, and now they're multiplying from the bottoms. So go buy some green onions from the grocery store and reroot them after you cut them off and use the greens, and see what happens. You never know. You might start up with your own bunching onions. So I've cut back half of that group that I was showing you. I'm going to leave some of the new ones here just to see what happens. And I've got a little baby one coming up here. I left that one to grow as well. So it's an experiment. I've left some. It may or may not make more onions. It may only make seeds. And I'll be honest with you, I've tried to save seeds from these onion heads when they do make seeds, and not one of them sprouted. So I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but apparently I don't know how. So now I've got a whole lot of green onion tops. So what am I going to do with all these green onions? I'm going to dehydrate them. I got the idea from Wachita Paw. I'm going to leave a link to his YouTube channel in the show notes, and specifically to the video where I got this idea from. So this part is pretty easy. I've already rinsed them and cut off the brown tips. And now all I have to do is slice them. So I've got several different widths, sizes, and I'm just going to slice them and put them here in this Nesco dehydrator. Now this Nesco dehydrator has to have at least 4 trays for it to work properly. And I may need more. I don't know. I think 4 will do it, but we'll see. So I've already rinsed them, and I'm just going to slice them. So those are already done. You do have to have these screens because they're just going to fall through those holes. So just put them on that tray. Spread them out. Try to make it just a single layer. Start another tray. So these here are probably going to take a little bit longer, so I'm actually going to put those on a different tray and keep those rotated so that they're going to be closer to the drying unit at the top. With this Nesco dehydrator, you really do need to check every few hours and rotate your trays around. I'll probably be leaving this particular tray near the top. As you see here where it says herbs and spices, right there. That's where I'm going to set this dial to, all the way to 95. Okay? And now I'm just going to plug it in and forget it. Okay, it's been about 24 hours. I was surprised it took that long, but the bigger pieces from the bigger onions just took a long time. So you just want to be sure that they are crackling dry. And so I'm going to pour them all into this cup that goes to the Ninja blender. And I'll just put the lid on, and I'm going to turn down the volume because it's really loud. Look at that. It's not only beautiful, but it's tasty. It tastes very much like onion powder, but it has a definite distinct flavor that I may even like it better than onion powder. So I can see using this anywhere where you would use regular onion powder. Where would you use your green onion powder? Leave a comment. I'd love to know. I wish I knew how to get these to make seeds that are actually viable. If you know how to do that, would you leave a comment? And I will share your information with all the rest of us that would like to know. Please take a moment, give it a green thumbs up, and why not subscribe? I have over 200 videos now. It's all about gardening. Thanks for watching.
Great.